Alright guys, so today we're going to go through and do the oil change on the CTSV. I have my daughter here, Haley. She's going to be helping take care of and do the oil change. I'm going through and teaching her how to actually do this, so whenever that she becomes older, she knows how to change her oil in her car. But we're going to go ahead and knock this out, and then I'm going to teach her a few things along the way. So stay tuned.
Perfect.
Okay, so what we have here is we have the oil fill neck where the oil goes into. Right now it's currently has the line that goes down to the catch can, so that when we have overpressure from the supercharger, it pushes down there. But we're going to take this line off, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the Mobil 1 5W30 and the K&N oil filter so that we can catch the oil as well as make sure that we have good oil inside of our car. So we're gonna go through, Haley's gonna help me with this and we're gonna get done. So the first thing you wanna do is you wanna take this oil cap off right here, and when you do that is I have mine loose enough to where it can be taken off pretty much by hand. But you see this nut right here? This is the oil cap, so you wanna try and loosen this nut up so you can actually spin it freely around it. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off, and then we're gonna go down to the bottom. Okay, Haley. So, right back here is, if you notice, this is the oil pan for the car. So you remember how we were going through and I was teaching you motors, how motors are compact, and then they have oil at the bottom with the crankshaft at the bottom. So the crankshaft at the bottom holds the oil right here at the bottom. Okay, so the oil stays here at the bottom, and then they have what they call an oil pump, and the oil pump pushes the oil up on top of the motor or inside the motor, so it can actually breathe all of the oil down and lubricate all the parts. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this plug. You see this plug back here?
Yes.
All right, so there's a screw or a bolt back here, and we're going to take that bolt out, and then we're going to drain all the fluid into this. See this, right? Into that container. Now, if you notice, trying to figure out what side of the motor I'm on. Oh, it's right here. So you see this? That's your oil filter. So what that does is it filters all the dirt and nastiness out of your motor. Okay? So we're going to take that off and we're going to change it so it doesn't mess up. And you can get a new one on there so that it can filter it better. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. Alright, so I'm thinking it's a 15. And I'm correct. Okay? So you always remember this. What is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey? You know that?
Yes.
Alright, so left hand, L, right hand, no L. Right? So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So we're going to take the left turn it. Okay, so now we're going to turn it left.
Yes.
You go counterclockwise. Okay. That's righty-tighty. That's lefty-loosey. Okay? So we're going to go which way? To me or to you? Are you sure? To you, right? Alright, now you see how I loosened up? Alright, now we're going to take and we're going to watch it. Alright, now I want you to take your hand and unscrew it. It might, just a little bit. Alright, so what you want to do is when you do this, right? You want to push the bolt in while you're unscrewing it, okay? And the reason being is because when you push the bolt in and you're unscrewing it, right? It's basically holding the fluid in there. So when you unscrew it and you start feeling it actually like threading itself, then you can actually pull it as fast as you can, and it'll squirt all of it in there.
No, I don't know if I can choose that.
You can do it. Let's go. It don't matter. Push in while you're unscrewing it. There you go. Push in. Make sure you hold hold the bolt. Keep going. It's not done yet. It's okay. You're gonna get a little on you. And it's okay. It's not gonna hurt you. The more you try to avoid it, the more you're gonna get dirty, okay? Alright, you're good. Alright, now you feel it cross-threading? Alright, see if you can pull it. Pull it fast. Okay. Ready? Pull.
I'm not ready. This is my left hand.
It's fine. No. You still gotta unscrew it some more. Got it? Now pull. Oh, see that? You see? You didn't get dirty, did you? Alright, now you take the bolt and you just set it right here inside of the oil pan and just let it drain.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Nope, it's good. A lot in there, right?
Yes.
Now you see how black it is? Alright, so it's not that black, it's actually like it's a little brown. It's not as black as I think it is. But if it's really dark black, that means it needed to be changed a lot. Alright, so you need to make sure that you take care of your motor, because if it becomes very black, that means you burnt through the oil, and you need to make sure that you didn't mess anything up in the motor. Okay, so you gotta, that right there, if it's black, you need to, what I would do is call me and ask me, and then I'll let you know whether or not what needs to happen. But you need to make sure you change oil on the right amount of time. Okay. So now that it is doing that, okay, you see how it's lightly coming out? So now I'm going to go through, and you see this oil filter right here.
Can't see it.
Okay, there's an oil filter right here. You see it? This black thing? Okay, that's the oil filter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an oil filter wrench, and I'm going to take that off, okay?
Back to the car.
Smarty pants. Alright, so you see how it's dripping right now? Alright, so what you also want to do is, this is a magnet at the very end of this thing. At the very end of your plug. So you want to make sure that you check your magnet and make sure there's no metal shavings in there. If there's metal shavings, that's very bad. Okay. So we're gonna put our plug back in. Right. Now that our plug's back in, see how it's in? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna push this out of the way for a little bit. Okay. So we take our 15mm wrench, right? And we snug it up. Right? We don't tighten it, we just snug. Okay. Now, you see our oil filter? I have a special oil filter wrench. Okay? So what you do is, you see how it's a nylon strap?
A what?
A nylon strap? This right here? Or I can't think what it's called. It's like a regular strap. Okay? So, we do righty, tighty, lefty, loosey, right? So, if we do righty, tighty, lefty, loosey, which way we gotta go?
Which one?
The oil filter. To me or to you?
Are you loosening it?
I'm loosening it, taking it off.
Bring it to me.
Bring it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we're gonna bring it to you. So, you see how I just wrapped it around the pole itself? So now you're gonna take your wrench. Right, now we're gonna pull it. It's making noise because it's turning. See how it's turning it? Slightly turning it at a time. Alright? Now, see how I just started rotating really easy? So now you take your oil filter wrench off, and now you can grab it with your hand. Now what you do is you need to watch out. Because you see how it's dripping oil?
No. Oh, yes.
Alright, so now it's dripping oil. That means this is about to come out. So now we're gonna make sure you got it on your forehead. It's all good. Alright, so now we're gonna rotate and screw it off. Okay? That's getting dirty. See how Dad's getting dirty and you're not? Mm-hmm. Alright, so this is a little dirty job. Oh, there we go. Alright, now, you see how it's pouring out right there? Good time to check your hand. You see how my hand is not, it's brown, but it's not black. So it's a little clear, so that means the oil looks good. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the new oil filter and we're going to put it where that oil filter is. Okay? Let me get the new oil filter. Now, with these supercharged engines, what you want to do is, you know how, you remember how I told you it sucks up oil and puts oil into the motor? So now I want to show you exactly what we need to do with this. Yeah, you got to come up here. Okay, so you see how we're using 5W30? So 5W30.
Is that what these napkins are for?
Yep. So you can clean just for the shop. Clean your hands. Alright, now, see the oil filter? See the inside of it? It has a mesh and stuff. So what it's doing is these holes that are on the outside, this right here, the holes on the outside are pushing the oil out, but the oil goes in here and it gets filtered. Okay, so that's how it gets filtered. So what you want to do is, before you do this, you want to take and lightly fill this up as much as you can. You see how I filled it up? So now that it's filled up, we can put it back on the car. But we gotta be careful when we do it. So now we use this jug a little bit, so now we're gonna put this back in. So now that we got the oil filter and the oil in the oil filter, so now we're gonna put it back on. So there's a little screw. You gotta find it, right? And then, once you find it, you gotta start screwing the oil filter back on. Once it starts going, it should be easier, right? So now I can let go. See? And now I can free spin it off of this nut right here. So you see how this oil filter is different from that last oil filter? This is a better oil filter, in my opinion. So, you're gonna lightly, you remember how we snugged up the last one? We're gonna snug up this one, same way. So you remember how we put oil on that seal? The reason being is because now it seals up a whole lot easier than if you didn't put oil on it. Okay. So now it's seated in there, nice and snug. Okay. So now we're good. Now we're done down here. Okay. So just remember, what is this? Oil pan, oil filter, and what is this?
Oil something.
Plug.
Plug.
Okay, so that plugs the oil filter, or not filter, oil pan. Okay. So, what are the two things you gotta unscrew? Oil plug. Okay. So you gotta undo that, and what comes out? All the oil, right? And then what comes out here? What is this? And what does it do? It filters oil, okay? So we're good? Alright, so now we're gonna move up top. You're not supposed to move up. You're supposed to slide with your feet. Okay, so now that we got the oil filter on and the oil plug down, now we're going to actually fill it with the oil. So now that all the oil that we drained out of it, we're going to put back in. Okay, so I use a funnel to make sure that it doesn't get everywhere. It's messy. Okay, so we're going to use a funnel, and then we're going to pour this into the actual butter. First thing you got to do, after you find all of this out, right? You need to know how much oil you put in your car. Because not every car is the same. You know why? Because you have bigger motors, you have smaller motors. The bigger motors take more oil. The smaller motors take less oil. Okay? So you need to know how much oil you need to put in the car. So you know how to find that? Owner's manual. You know what owner's manual is. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, if you come with me, we open up here. It's not gonna open up. So we're gonna get in the glove box because I don't have the key with me. All right, you see the glove box? Now, you see this book? So now we're gonna take this book and we're gonna open it. And here, we're gonna find the oil information, okay? So, you see all this right here? So it tells you how much oil is in it, okay? So now I need, okay, so it says lubricants will be found on page 11-13. So now we're going to 11-13. Okay. So you see, it says engine oil. It says we need 5.7 liters or 6 quarts. Okay. So what do we have over here? Do we have quarts or do we have liters?
What?
Do we have quarts or do we have liters?
We have quarts and liters.
Okay. So how many quarts are in there? 5 quarts. How many quarts does it say we need? 6 quarts, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to pour this whole thing in there, right?
Yeah.
And then how much are we going to pour of this? 1/5. 1/5 of this.
How do you know where that is? How do you know how much that is?
Because how many quarts are there?
Yeah, I know, but like I'm saying, how do you know?
How do you know how much quarts you need out of this?
Yes.
Okay, so if you turn this right here, you see these lines?
Oh.
So how many, what does it say right here?
Liters
And quarts. 4 quarts in the gallon. So this is how many quarts right here?
1, 2, 3, 4.
So how far do we have to go down this line to get 1 quart into the car?
To get 1 quart.
Yeah, 1 quart in the car.
Out of this?
Out of that. Which line do we got to go to? That line right there. So we got to take this all the way up, put it in the car. Okay? So we're going from there. Come over here. Now we're going to take and put this in here. So now we're going to dump this whole entire thing in there. Okay? You want to be careful when you do it. So how many quarts we got in there now? 5 quarts. Alright, now we gotta take the other one and get another quart out. So with that. So, remember we gotta go to that line? Alright, so now.
So you have to keep on jumping.
Where we at? Need more? A little bit more, right? Good? Cool. Okay, so now what you want to do is you see this filter or this funnel? You want to take and use your cloth and put it at the end of your funnel. Okay? And that holds it from actually getting any fluid everywhere. So now you want to take your funnel, you want to put it away, you want to make sure you clean it and make sure everything's good to go. Okay? So you never want to put dirty parts or dirty tools back in your toolbox so you have it for next time they're clean. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our oil plug back in, or what do you call it? Our catch can hose back on. So now we're going to tighten it down. Okay. So now it's tight back down. Make sure everything's good to go. Now, what do you think you need to do after this? Alright, so the first thing you always want to do is you want to make sure you check your oil level. So now you want to check your oil level and make sure it's good to go. Okay? So now you're going to pull your dipstick. Alright, do you know how to read dipstick? Okay. So, come here. Now, you see these crosshatch marks? Okay, so that means that you need to be inside of these crosshatch marks. Right? This is the minimum on this little dot right here, and that's the maximum right there. Okay? So you want to make sure that you're right here at the very top of this maximum. Don't go any further higher than that, okay? So now we're going to put it in there. Alright, because we just cleaned it off, make sure that we know what we're doing. I see it. Now, where are we at? It's a little above it, right? You know why? Because we're sitting at an angle. The car is up here on jacks. So now we got to get the car down off the jacks and check the oil, okay? But the next step we got to do is we got to turn the car on. We got to get the oil circulating and everything like that. This way it can circulate through the motor, settle back down, and then we'll check the oil level again. So now I want you to tell our viewers, okay, how to actually go through and do an oil change, step by step.
Okay.
All right.
So, if I can remember.
You gotta speak up.
First, you do the oil plug. This oil plug, right?
Well, first we gotta think about safety, okay? So safety-wise, what do we have to do? We gotta do what first to the car?
You have to put it on the jack stand.
Gotta put it on jack stands, right? Okay, make sure the car is safe and stable, right? Okay, now what do you do?
Then you go under the car and unplug the flow, actually. You have to get a tray thing so that you can catch all the oil.
Okay,
And then you unplug the oil plug
okay,
and let it all run out.
okay,
If it's black, then that's bad.
okay.
And
It's bad, but it's not that bad,
okay.
okay? What do you check on the end of the oil plug?
If there's any metal pieces.
And metal pieces mean what? That's bad,
Yes.
okay?
Okay.
Now, what else do you need to do up underneath the car?
Then you have to undo the oil filter.
Oil filter, okay?
And then add more oil to it.
Well, you gotta change, do you have to change out the oil filter, or do you have to? Every oil change, you have to change out the oil filter.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That does not work much.
Okay, so taking out the oil, and then we gotta change out the oil filter, okay? Now that we're done up underneath the car, how tight does the oil plug need to be?
It just has to be snug,
Just snug, right?
not super tight.
Why? What happens if it's super tight? what do you got to do after a long period of time that oil's in there? What do you got to do?
Gotta let it out.
You got to let it out, right?
Oh, and then you won't be able to let it out if it's too tight.
Exactly. It's either too tight or you stripped it and it's going to be bad. It's not going to be good, okay? So just know, okay? What about the oil filter?
Oil filter. What about it?
Does it got to be snug or does it got to be really tight?
Oh, no, it has to be snug too.
Snug too, okay? So now we get out from underneath the car. What do we have to do up at the top of the car?
You have to, I don't know,
The oil fill.
oil fill.
That's where it's at,
Okay. So you refill the oil.
okay? So where do you find how much oil goes in the car?
In your car manual book.
Our manual book, right? Owner's manual, okay? With this car, how many quarts of oil did it take?
6.
6, right? What happens if it's a smaller motor?
It doesn't need as much.
It doesn't need as much, right? Okay. Once you get done filling the oil in the car, what do you have to do?
You have to pull out that stick.
The oil, the dipstick,
Dipstick.
okay?
And if the lines are above the hole, then that's bad, I guess.
You overfill it.
Oh.
And if you have no oil whatsoever on the dipstick at all, what happens?
You need oil?
You need more oil, okay? So, is it accurate if the car is sitting up like this? Is the dipstick accurate if it is?
No.
Okay, so what do you have to do?
You have to take it off the jack stand.
And then what do you have to do?
And then do it again.
Do it again, right? What else do you have to do?
You have to run the car
Why?
so that you get the oil flowing.
There you go. So, if my 11-year-old daughter can tell me word for word exactly what needs to be done to this car, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get out there and do your own oil. So, get out there, do your oil changes. I'm out.